Hello everyone, myself Nandu Das, and today we will be discussing cell biology. The topic is cytoskeletal elements. Cytoskeletal elements are a network of interconnected tubules and filaments. They have many functions like locomotion. They give the cell a particular shape, gives shape to the cell, etc. For example, for an interconnected tubule and filaments is lamens, LAMENS, is present inside the nucleus. It's an example for intermediate filaments, which we will be looking into. One thing you need to know is eukaryotic cytoskeletal elements are absent in prokaryotic cytoskeletal elements, and we'll be looking at the classification now. In prokaryotes, the cytoskeletal elements are classified into three types. The first one is MREB, second one is FTSZ, the third one is chrysanthemum. These are the cytoskeletal elements in prokaryotes. In eukaryotes, the cytoskeletal elements are the first one is microfilaments, or also known as actin filaments. They are of 7 nanometer diameter. The next one is intermediate filaments. They are of around 12 nanometer in size. And the third one is microtubules. They are of around 25 nanometer diameter. The microfilaments and microtubules are made of single type of protein. While the intermediate filaments are made up of 64 different types of proteins. Microfilaments and microtubules are polar in nature, while intermediate filaments are non-polar. Microfilaments and microtubules help in locomotion, while intermediate filaments have no part in locomotion. What they do is they give mechanical support for the cell. Now taking a look at microfilaments. Microfilaments are of 7 nanometer in diameter, and they help in locomotion. Microfilaments are also known as actin filaments. They are made up of monomers called actin, and the actin is a globular protein. It has 378 amino acids, and its weight is 43 kilodaltons. Actin, a single molecule of actin is known as G-actin, and a polynucleotide or a polymer of actin is known as F-actin. Filamentous actin, G stands for globular. Actin has a pseudo double helical structure. which means they appear to be double helical in structure, but they are not double helical. I'll show you what it looks like. Actin is a U-shaped protein. It looks approximately like this, and this is the filamentous structure. I said that they are polar in nature. This pointed end is the negative region and this bar shaped end is the positive region. Polymerization and depolymerization can occur at both the ends. F-actin is a dynamic structure, which means it can assemble and reassemble relative to the factors governing its dynamics. For example, like temperature and pH, it can change its position and it can rearrange itself relative to the factors affecting their dynamics. And this dynamics is governed by actin binding proteins. These proteins govern the dynamics of the actin protein. Now, actin proteins are divided into two types: muscle specific actin, for example alpha actin, which is present in muscles, and non-muscle specific actin, example gamma actin and beta actin. Now, polymerization and depolymerization can occur at both the ends, the positive end and the negative end at the positive end. At the positive end, polymerization happens, and at the negative end, depolymerization happens. The rate of depolymerization is lower compared to the rate of polymerization. Now, when G-actin group together to form a filamentous actin or an F-actin, there are three different phases: 1, 2 and 3. The first phase is known as the lag phase or nucleation. In lag phase or nucleation, the molecules arrange themselves in a particular manner so that polymerization can start. That arrangement is occurring during the lag phase. The second phase is exponential phase. Exponential phase is when the polymerization actually occurs. So, the polymerization starts in at an accelerated manner, in an exponential manner. So, it is called as exponential phase. The third state is the steady state phase. The steady state phase is when the rate of polymerization is equal to the rate of depolymerization, and it is here. So, this is the lag phase. The molecules are getting arranged for polymerization, and at exponential phase, the polymerization begins in a very accelerated manner. And in third state, which is the steady state phase, where polymerization rate is equal to the depolymerization rate. As I said before, actin is U-shaped, and this site is for ATP to come and bind. Actin has ADP and ATP. Now, what is the use of ATP? Suppose a non-hydrolytic form of ATP comes and binds to this location, the polymerization is not affected, which means ATP does not have a role in the polymerization. What the use for ATP in actin is to govern the dynamics. After polymerization occurs, only after a few while after the polymerization occurs, ATP gets hydrolyzed. ATP does not get hydrolyzed instantly after the polymerization has happened. It takes a while for ATP to get hydrolyzed. The use of ATP is to govern the dynamics of the actin filament. Treadmilling is a state shown by microfilaments and microtubules. Treadmilling, it occurs when the rate of polymerization is equal to the rate of depolymerization, which means the total length of the actin filament is constant. That state is known as treadmilling. Now consider this as an F-actin filament. It's actually U-shaped and pseudo-helical in structure, but I have just, for the ease of drawing, I have drawn it in this manner. This is the positive end and this is the negative end. The positive end has more ATP while the negative end has more ADP. Keep that in mind. Now we will be looking at microtubules. Microtubules also show treadmilling. They are made up of particles with alpha tubulin and beta tubulin. It's a dimer. It's made up of tetramers. Yeah, it is made up of dimers of alpha tubulin and beta tubulin. This is its structure, and this is known as a single protofilament. Alpha beta, alpha beta, alpha beta, alpha beta. This will be the positive end, the beta end will be the positive end, and the alpha end will be the negative end. This is one protofilament. Thirteen such protofilaments will come together and it will join and then roll together to form a tubule. Tubulin like structure. This is the cross section of a tubulin. It is a tube like structure. This end is of 13 protofilaments. This is one protofilament. 13 such structures will come together and form a sheet like structure, and they will roll to form a tube like structure. That is a microtubule. They are polar structures. This is the positive end, this is the negative end. And what else? Another fact is the positive end will have GTP and the negative end is very special. The negative end will have GTP, GDP, GTP, GDP alternatively. It will have alternative arrangement of GTP, GDP, GTP and GDP alternatively in the negative end. In positive end, it's just GTP. And another thing to know about the dimer is, this is alpha and this is beta. The alpha cannot hydrolyze GTP. Only beta can hydrolyze GTP. Keep that in mind. Now we will be looking into dynamic instability, which is another phenomenon like treadmilling. Now this is the centromere and this is a microtubulin attached to it. This is the positive end and this is the negative end. Here the negative end is stabilized and the positive end, the growth is happening. Now the first case, shrinkage occurs in first case when no supply of the monomers are available. no supply of the alpha beta dimers or monomers are available. And the second case when shrinkage occurs is when the GTP hydrolysis is accelerated. We know that in both the cases of actin filaments and microtubules, the hydrolysis occurs only after a while after polymerization. It does not occur instantaneously after polymerization. But here in this case, if GTP hydrolysis is accelerated from this end, if it accelerates and if it reaches here, shrinkage will happen. When GTP is suddenly changed into GDP, the structure becomes unstable and it falls out, it depolymerizes. Now we will be looking at the drugs that affect the polymerization of actin filaments. The first drug is cytochalassins. It helps in depolymerization of actin filaments. What it does is, it goes and binds to the positive end and doesn't allow further polymerization. The second toxin is latrunculin A. What it does is, it sequesters all the monomers. Until no monomer is available for polymerization. Sequesters means it collects all the monomers present in the cytosol and it keeps it and does not free the monomers into the cytosol. It collects and keeps the monomers. That's the duty of latrunculin. And the third one is phalloidin. What it does is, it goes and binds to the actin filament and stabilizes it. Which means it does not allow depolymerization of the actin filament. That's the duty of phalloidin, and phalloidin is extracted from the most poisonous mushroom present on the planet, which is death cap fungus. It is extracted from death cap fungus.